the North Pole. They said, listen here, this year we need a little help. There've been so many good little girls and boys. The sleigh won't hold all those toys. So heat up your hot chocolate thermos mugs. There's a Christmas toy convoy revving up. Santa got a semi flying down the road, southbound North Pole overload. Got a wreath on the grill, a star on the hood. He's checking off his list, so you better be good. He's got a speaker on the top playing jingle bells. Red snow flaps on them 18 wheels. Tell me, have you ever seen steel and chrome fly? Beep, beep, bye-bye, Santa got a semi. Santa called up the state patrol, said if you see him coming, boys, let him roll. We got a long night ahead and a big job to do. The said 10-4, Santa, you can roll on through. But be real careful, don't forget to buckle up, 'cause there's a whole lot of love in them big old trucks. Santa got a semi flying down the road, southbound North Pole overload. Got a wreath on the grill, a star on the hood. He's checking off his list, so you better be good. He's got a speaker on the top playing jingle bells. Red snow flaps on them 18 wheels. Tell me, have you ever seen steel and chrome fly? Beep, beep, bye-bye, Santa got a semi. A big truck with a star on the hood, you better think twice, yeah, you better be good. Call Santa got a semi flying down the road, southbound North Pole overload. Got a wreath on the grill, star on the hood. He's checking off his list, so you better be good. He's got a speaker.
Merry Christmas to all of you in the paranormal community and elsewhere. Thank you for partaking in this special edition of the Christmas Files. I am your host, Michael O'Neill. With me, looking festive, is our wonderful co-host for the day, Mr. David Sawyer. Good evening, Dave.
Good evening, Mike. Good evening, everybody, and Merry early Christmas, I suppose.
Yes. And we already got it wrong.
Why?
Because we both said Merry, or we both said good evening.
An early Merry Christmas. Oh, sorry. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's the first. Yeah, it's the first show. Good morning.
Good morning,
paranormal community. Right. Sorry.
Oh,
you're right. I did mess
already,
that up. It's hard after 7 years, man.
I did too. Yeah. When every episode,
I didn't even catch you. I'm like, sounded normal, except for the fact that although looking outside, it looks like it's probably about 6 o'clock at night because it's just gray and miserable outside. But
that's all right. That's all right, because it's warm and loving here inside.
Absolutely. I mean, look at my fireplace is roaring. Ooh.
Yeah, so roaring. In fact, it's not even moving.
Well, it is. I just don't have a lot of heat going right now. Like,
right.
You know,
Gotcha. Yeah. I have two behind me.
I see you. Yeah. I
I
got dueling trees going though.
Well, I guess you just beat me in the Christmas spirit, then, don't you?
I guess so.
So, great episode for everybody this morning. So not only are we going to read your letters about your favorite Christmas memories. Well, I should say most memorable Christmas memories. Not everyone is good, but very memorable. And then and Dave and I will share some of our own as well, as we do, each and every year when we do this. And then at the end of the hour, there will be a drawing, or at least there was supposed to be, but that's really not needed because only 2 people wrote it, and I have 5 different gifts. So the people who did write in, I'll be contacting them. So both Julie and Deb, thank you for Deb for trying. I guess there's something wrong with her submission, so I won't even be reading it because I don't even know what it is. But I'll give her full kudos for the attempt. And for Julie, I will be and you'll be able to choose which one you want, whatever you want. And then I gotta thank everybody else for not participating, because whatever's left over gets donated to my team. So thank you for the new K2s or the new Spirit Box and all that other stuff. Just we have the supporters that just like to give.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for you on that one. To chime in a word or two.
Yeah, I did. Absolutely. That was my chime in.
Yep. Perfect. And then obviously after that, we'll be getting into obscure Christmas traditions from around the world. And there's some awesome ones. There really are.
There's some beauties, yeah.
Yes, yeah, there are. So yeah, well, some of them are my favorites. I wish we would do something like that around here, but sadly, not so much. And not only that, but we even have one where the Vatican gets involved in a just an amazing Christmas tradition, and the backstory of it just made me laugh so hard. But we'll get to this. But anyway,
we're going to be like Santa Claus today. We're going to be zooming around for every country. Like we're going to be zooming to this country and that country. We're going to travel the whole world.
Yes,
for the most part. Yeah,
and we're giving out gifts,
and we're giving out gifts.
We're
very much like Santa, and you have the hat on, so you can be Santa, and I'll be the jolly elf.
Except the fact that you're bigger than me, but
yeah,
that's okay.
That's okay.
I did happen to see Red 1.
I did too. So I was just going to say, because The Rock is bigger than Santa Claus in that too. So you got to have a factor.
Well, I wasn't even going with The Rock. I was going with the polar bear.
Oh, the polar bear. That's true. I'll be the polar bear. Yeah, I like that guy.
You'll be the polar bear. Well, you know damn well, like Red 2 is going to feature like the polar bear.
Yeah.
As
yeah. That polar bear was great. Yeah,
it was. So for those of you, it's if you have Prime, which I think almost everybody in the freaking world does.
Probably.
Red 1 is now on Prime and for free.
Yeah.
So you can't get much better than that.
No. And it's pretty good too.
It's not bad. I'll say that. It's not bad. I was expecting some twists and turns.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's going to turn out that Santa Claus kidnapped himself, for whatever reason. Like he staged the whole thing.
Yeah, there's that little I'm not going to say what it is, but there's the little twist and turn of like who the bad guy is. So, because I never saw that coming.
That's because they made it up.
Yeah. No, she's actually, when I was doing my folklore research, she's actually in there.
No shit.
Under obscure Christmas characters. So, yeah. So I'm going to bring her name up.
Okay.
Sometime today.
It's so hard to change.
I know.
Because even you're like, I'll bring it up tonight. Like, no, you won't.
Nope. Sometime today, sometime this morning, sometime during the show.
So, again, going forward, this is our last show of the year.
Yep.
And so we will be starting again January 5th. It's the first Sunday. And our new time is 10 a.m. to noon. So, and then obviously the show will go out after that. So, I mean, if you listen on audio, it's not going to affect you whatsoever, except that you'll be able to get it like 10 hours earlier or whatever it is. So, yay you. That's our Christmas gift to you.
Yeah, right. And our Christmas gifts to ourselves is Sunday Night Football. So,
well, just football
for the rest
in
of
general.
the season. Yeah, football in general. Right.
Yeah, because we'll be done at noon. And then, but because of this early time, we'll be able to bring on more people from across the pond, like Barry Fitzgerald, who we definitely want to have back on in the beginning weeks of the new year. But that will make it far easier for us to have people like them on. So we're expanding.
We're going worldwide.
International, baby.
International. Yeah, I was going to say, we got international a couple years ago. We got to get more international.
In fact, I found out recently, not only are we international, but we are interdimensional.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, uh, it's a conversation I had with Cena.
No, I can't believe it came from that source.
Yeah.
I'm totally dumbfounded. I never saw that coming.
So yeah, it I can't even, I don't even remember the context of the conversation. It was like, I think I had a stroke during
my God.
during it.
So
But,
who what dimension is listening to us?
I don't know. I just said I don't
Oh.
remember any of the context.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, just it was something. We'll have to talk about that later. I'm not.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
not getting into that. So
No, that's fine. We'll be on that for 45 minutes to an hour.
that's right, and
Yeah.
it's not Christmassy. So
Mm-mm.
So anyway, I want to start out before we get into the stories of just getting into the Christmas spirit. So I have a set of just one or two questions, top threes for both Dave and myself. So let me ask you this, Dave.
Yep.
Top three Christmas songs, in your opinion. Your favorites, I should say.
Okay. Well, one would be Lucy and Linus, the piano thing from the trio.
No shit.
That's that I think from my childhood and watching the Charlie Brown Christmas, and that was like one of the ones that always stuck with me. The music from that just has always been my favorite music for Christmas. So I'm gonna throw that in there. I like the Hawaiian one. Alikilikimaka is the way to say from National Lampoon's Vacation, right?
I love that
that
you're talking about.
Yeah, that one always grabs my ear. Every time it comes on, I kind of get excited and I perk up and listen. And then I'm going to say probably White Christmas.
That's not Barry White. It's Burl Ives.
I think Burl Ives did one of it. Yeah, I know. God, not Fred Astaire, but I can't remember his name now. Anyway, he was around that same time frame in the 40s as Fred Astaire. Did a version of it that I really like. Because I always like White Christmases, I mean, I grew up in the Midwest. We always had a White Christmas, and that song is just kind of so mellow and like you could just imagine sitting by a fire and just not really doing anything, but just listening, and enjoying the crackling of the fire. A couple golden retrievers laying at your feet, snoozing, waiting for their Christmas presents. So what are yours?
So this is tough because I like them all. I
do too. I mean, I've been listening all season, so
so have I.
Yeah, I've been listening for like 2 weeks.
Okay, so let's see here. The theme to this episode, Keith Hartley's "Santa's Got a Semi." I love that one. Yeah. It makes me laugh. I love singing along. It's just jolly, and because obviously I'm in the transportation industry, it has a
meaning.
It has a meaning to me. A relation to it. I haven't heard it this year. I haven't heard it in years, but again, from my childhood, loved it. And it's "I'm Getting Nothing for Christmas."
I don't know.
Do you remember that? Oh, it's hilarious. It's this kid that's naughty, and he starts listing all of these he did wrong. He's like, "So I'm getting nothing for Christmas." And he's like, "Mommy and Daddy, you're mad." It's like, "I'm getting nothing for Christmas because I ain't been nothing but bad." And it just makes me laugh so much because that, again, was me from my childhood. But like I said, I keep meaning to look it up like on YouTube because I know it's on YouTube.
Oh God, yeah, everything's on YouTube.
Yeah, and I keep forgetting to do so. And then it's kind of I heard it last night, and yeah, that's really good. But you know what? There's one that I like more, and it's a Glee song. Now hold on. So Glee mostly does covers,
Right.
So I mean, it would just be, it would just be, whatever that song was sung by whoever. But I think this song was specifically for the show.
Oh, okay.
And it's called Extraordinary Merry Christmas, I believe. Very uptuned, very it's good. And since I've heard it a few years ago, I've really enjoyed it. Listening to it, and I've probably heard it at least a dozen times already this year, so I'm starting to get sick of it, but it's still really good. So,
well, I'm gonna say we each get an additional present this year from Santa for not picking Mariah Carey's song, because if that never played on the air again, I'd be a happy man. I'm sorry to any Mariah Carey fans out there, but
it's so hilarious that even before Christmas usually comes out, you get those memes like on Facebook or whatever, like she's thawing out or something like that. Here comes. But
yeah.
I like it. It's a good song, but yeah, I'm
a little burned out by it.
Well, I think
people have made it like a Christmas, like, oh my God, that's like the start of Christmas when Mariah Carey sings. No.
I think they mean that sarcastically, though.
Oh Christ, I hope so.
All right.
Okay.
So here we
go. That was off the cuff, by the way, because you didn't tell me you were going to be grilling me on my top 3 Christmas songs.
I know.
Yeah.
But I figured, if anybody,
well, I have top 3. I mean, I got a lot more than that too, but I mean, those were the 3 off the top of my head. For sure, the Charlie Brown is probably number 1.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Top 3 Christmas movies / TV shows.
Okay. The original Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Absolutely phenomenal movie. Love that movie.
Watched it last night.
Yeah, I didn't, but I watched what did I watch last night? Oh, that new one that's out about where they try to bring the bag on board for the terrorist thing. I can't remember the name right now. But
definitely not Christmas.
No, definitely not a Christmas movie. Although we were laughing about it afterwards, because I'm like, it starts with Christmas music and it ends with Christmas music and it's at Christmas time. So I'm like, is this going to be the new debate? Like Die Hard? This is like thrown into the Die Hard category of whether this is a Christmas movie or not. So, all right. So the original Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I mean, I got to go back to, it'd be a toss up between the old claymations, like Rudolph and
Frosty
and those guys. Yeah. And Frosty and stuff, and Charlie Brown Christmas. I guess that would be kind of a conglomerate number 2. And then number 3 would be, I just had it right now. I was just thinking about it before I diverted my brain to the other, come on. Santa Claus, Tim Allen. Christmas Vacation.
I think that's how a lot of people.
I watch that like 3 or 4 times, 5 times, 6 times a year, like the holidays. So
wow.
And I watch it even when it's not the holidays because it's just so funny.
You want to know what's sad is that I've seen Christmas Vacation. What I have not seen, which is I would say even more of a staple of Christmas movies that I have not seen, is It's a Wonderful Life. I still have not seen that movie. I know you shake your head. And I every year I'm like, okay, this is year I'm going to watch it. And then like if I see it on like the guide or whatever, it's like an hour in. And I'm like, well, I can't. I'm like, well, I can't
you can't watch it from there. No. You got to watch the whole thing.
And then I just saw, I think Prime has it, but like in a abridged version.
No, you don't want that either.
And I'm just like, no, I don't want the abridged version.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, you guys are teasing me every year. I get teased by It's a Wonderful Life, and then I miss it. But anyway, that's not one of my...
honorable mention, The Christmas Story.
You know what? I don't find that to be like epicness. It's
an honorable mention for me. I mean, I like it.
Well, I mean, people love it so much. Like, what is it, like TNT or something like that? Does 24 hours of the Christmas?
No.
I'm just like, what?
Right, I get it. No, it's not that great, but it gets an honorable mention just because it's got some great. Just the family relationship there is so real to where I grew up, and it was filmed right in my neck of the woods when I was a kid. So I'm just like, it's just so reflective of what like life was really like in that neighborhood. So
okay, I can get that then. All right. For me, number one, Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Good movie.
I have to watch it every year. I have it on my computer download, even though I have Disney Plus. So I just turn it on that. But if for whatever reason I don't have access to Disney Plus, I have access to Mickey's Christmas Carol. I have to watch it every year. As much as I love the Santa Claus, and like I said, I watched it last night, I actually enjoy the Santa Claus 2 more.
Okay.
So Santa Claus 2, and then I'm going to have to go with Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, I knew one of those. I knew one of those B- movies was coming in here somewhere.
Santa's Sleigh is an A+ movie. I bite your tongue there, Mr. Sawyering. But I mean, come on, Bill Goldberg as evil Santa. It's amazing. Although I bought Violent Night, which is the newer one that came out last year, I believe. Haven't seen it yet. And then there's actually a movie that I saw last weekend at my buddy Steen's place, and I bought it immediately. I haven't watched it here, but it's called Fat Man, and it's Mel Gibson as Santa Claus, and it's an interesting dynamic to it.
Okay.
But completely not what you would expect for a Santa, like a Christmas Santa movie. He doesn't wear the red coat. Like, you never see him dressed up as Santa. He's tending to this farm in Alaska, and he's like being hunted by this this guy who's been hired to kill him by like this 12-year-old.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, the setup it makes sense when you watch it, but it means he's talking about it, like, that just sounds absurd. Honestly, he does a pretty good job. So
okay.
But yeah, I never heard of it either until I was at my buddy's house last weekend.
So the one you said before that, is that the one where Santa is all hammered at the bar drinking, and he's the real Santa at the start of it? I can't remember the name of that movie, but it was actually pretty good. Where Santa's just like, he's just tired of Christmas, so he's just wasted at the bar, and there's other like mall Santas are in there kind of grousing about life, and it's just this dive bar, and he's just drinking like whiskey by the bottle. And then he goes to the house, and then the hit team comes in because they're trying to steal the lady's money out of her vault. That's probably not the same movie. I can't remember the name of that movie, but that gets an honorable mention too, even though I don't know the name of it off the top of my head.
It's so honorable, you can't even remember it.
I can't even remember it, but yeah.
All right.
I'll tell you, I'll write it down. Note to Dave, January 5th. So in case you didn't watch it during the holiday season, you can start the new year off with
it. What?
I said I'll when we do our show on January 5th.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I have the name of it available.
Oh, I was just like, huh?
Yeah, I know you were kind of like off in left field there.
I was, because because when you started that sentence, I was thinking about where I wanted to go next, and I was looking at the time, and so I missed like the first couple. And all of a sudden, you're like, on January 5th, you can do it. I'm like, wait, that's the day of our show. What's going on?
That's the day of our show. Yeah,
I wanted
the morning of our show. Do you think we get in trouble if we get called the morning show? The
Why?
paranormal morning show?
I don't think there is a paranormal morning show.
I don't think there is either. But we just broke that ground.
Okay.
Oh, and before I forget, you heard it here first last week. The New Jersey drone crisis is getting severe. They're shutting down airports.
Really?
They shut down 2 airports in New York, not obviously LaGuardia, but they shut down 2 airports in New York because the drones were flying over installations at the airport, like spying. And they were in the runway, like flight paths and stuff at these airports. And one of them was buzzing the tower. There's this guy, and I don't know if he's right, but everybody thinks he's a crackpot. But I think it's like the senator from New Jersey. He thinks it's the Iranians' drone ships, because I guess they converted some ships to drone ships, and supposed to have these like wicked like war drones type of thing. And so he thinks that's who's doing about it.
And their Pentagon.
Well, they can see anything they want to see in the world, with the satellites and everything. So the satellites show all 3 of the ships that are still sitting in the South Persian Sea. So they're not here. But the one guy is just like, oh, they've got cloaking. He's just losing his mind. But anyway, so what I thought was just going to be like a one and done, it actually isn't. It's like getting more and more and more attention. It's showing up in my feed all the time. It's on the nightly news now. They're talking about it. So, yeah. So something's going on there. So everybody keep an eye on that if you're interested in the paranormal, because I don't think this is like a group of pranksters doing this. There's something more to what's happening here.
So that's not necessarily the paranormal. That's the conspiracy theorists.
Well, it's something, right? I mean, I don't know. We can't put a tag on it till we find out who the party is behind it, because if they never find out who it is, I mean, with the technology we have today, I can't believe that this is like going on as long as it is and hasn't been like squashed by our military or the CIA or FBI or somebody. The one sheriff when the one county, the sheriff, they interviewed him. He's like, if you see them things flying around, just shoot it down, shoot it out of the sky.
Yeah, because that always ends well.
But I digress. That's not very Christmassy.
No, but I do want to point out that our number one friend of the show, Mr. Anthony, he wrote me the other day saying that I guess at the same time as these drones are happening or whatever, now they're starting to see weird lights here in Minnesota.
Well, I didn't see that. Now I got to watch out for it.
I figured I said either he would keep me up there or you would. But he sent me a link to an article written by like Fox 9 or whatever it was, Care 11 or something, about weird lights being seen in Northfield.
Okay, well, since we're going that direction, I got to throw this out there, because in the Forest Lake community page, somebody was, and more than one person were asking who was doing the drone, the aeronautical drone thing at the high school right here across from my house. They said there were 200 drones, approximately 200 drones over the football field at like 2 a.m. There's pictures of them. Like people, they're like, well, who was doing who was like practicing their drone thing for Christmas or some holiday show? They just figured somebody was doing it for the holiday show. But at 2 a.m. on the football field, you're going to be out there with like a crew setting up 200 drones that are going to fly in sync. I don't know. I didn't see it. I wish I had, because that would be interesting as hell. I would actually gone over there. See what was going on.
I mean, it doesn't. The only thing that doesn't make sense in that is the 2 a.m. I mean, if you're going to practice a 200 drone show, you're going to want a big open field, and a football field would be the proper place to do it, because it's going to be wide open.
Right.
But yeah, 2 a.m. The only thing that
doesn't make sense to me
is it went so long that they're like, we're not leaving it until we get this down.
Until we
And
get it
it's
right.
like
Yeah.
until it's and then it's 2-3 in the morning, and they're like, all right, let's pack it up.
Right.
So, I mean, I could see that. I honestly could.
I could,
mean,
I could too. I just thought it interesting since you were talking about like crazy light sightings and stuff. But
yeah, I don't know, but I think now everybody's getting paranoid. It was the same with the Chinese balloon. Anytime you saw any balloon after that, oh my, people went nuts and were being
yeah,
spied on.
yeah,
And now everybody sees a light or a drone, and they're like, "What's going on?"
right, right.
But I digress. So now that we got into the Christmas spirit and then went away from it,
We're going right back.
we're going right back. So, I would like I said, there was. I think I don't know why I didn't get Debs. I honestly don't. But Julie, who has been a longtime listener of the show and very appreciative of that, she wrote in two memories to us. One good, one bad. You did say you wanted positive and negative.
I said it was open to whatever you wanted to share with us. Right.
Exactly. And she did that. So which would you like me to read first?
Well, let's get the bad one out of the way. So
Let's
we
get
can
the bad
end
one
on
out
a
of the way.
positive note. Yeah.
I thought so, but just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
So, and this kind of falls into not so much like favorite Christmas memory, but memorable. And it's always interesting that, even as I think back, like it either has to be so incredibly amazing that it just sticks with you in life, like the whole Nintendo thing when I was like 5 or 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then you have like 20 years of nothing. Like you can't remember anything about any Christmas because it was just the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
And then you have, I have the memory, which makes me relate to Julie's very, very intensely. And I'll get to that later, but but yeah. So this is what Julie writes. My most memorable Christmas was in 2020. Unfortunately, it's not a great memory. On November 30th of 2020, my brother passed away unexpectedly. He had already went Christmas shopping for the family. So on Christmas morning, as we were opening our presents, there were many presents there for my brother. Instead of being an exciting time, every gift we opened from my brother, we cried. Later in the day, my nephew and I were taking down the Christmas tree, and we were listening to Christmas music. All of a sudden, the Christmas music stopped playing, and it started playing a really sad song that is usually played at funerals. Of course, we started crying again. Sorry, it's not a very exciting and uplifting story, but that was my most memorable Christmas. Definitely no need to apologize. And
No.
obviously, our condolences for your loss, especially at that time. But
Well, anytime,
well,
anytime you lose
anytime.
a family member is not the best of times, but
Right. But I mean, to have to go through the whole trying to accept what happened and moving on
Right.
with life, only to have Christmas come around and it's just
presents
like
from him.
yeah,
Right,
all
right.
over
So it's
again.
right back in your face again. Yeah. Yeah. I get
But
it.
yeah, no. So
What's up with the funeral march happening right in the middle of Christmas music though?
I'm wondering if it's like Go Rest High in That Mountain or something like that. Because that's something that people play a lot at funerals.
Okay.
I don't know if that is. She wasn't specific on what
I
the
don't know
song
if there's
was.
like right in the middle of Jingle Bell Rock, it just stopped and then you got like taps playing or something like that,
I hope that's not exactly what I like. I hope that the song finished and then they just went to something else.
Okay.
I'm hoping, but I sit here and I like try to ponder whether that was a message from him.
That's what I would say, right? Is that
But why would you play that? Why would you play a song that played at funerals instead of like his favorite song or something?
right? That's what I would say too, right? So if he was watching all the emotional outpour and stuff, that certainly could have drawn him back to that location. Absolutely. I mean, and then I would think that he would share something that was one of his favorites or something. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know why you would play it like a depressing funeral song.
So
Right.
I'm torn
Strange.
between I'm torn between message and then coincidence.
Yep.
Um, I guess only she would be able to answer that question, whether it was a song that meant something to the both of them that were taking down the tree, or not. Maybe that was something that happens on that radio station all the time,
Could be. Right.
or whatever they were listening to. Nobody listens to the radio anymore.
I do. But
Well, I tried to listen to Cool 108, which is
Yeah.
24 hours of
Yeah.
Christmas music, but it was literally like 2 songs, 10 minutes of commercials,
Yep.
3 songs, 10 minutes of commercials.
And it's the same commercials.
And it's the same
Tax
and it-
issues and something else. Fat Larry selling life insurance to fat people, and then tax issues. I mean, I'm like, I did too. So I switched over to Love 105.3, and it's all basically almost all music. It's like a half hour of music, 3 commercials, half hour of music. Yeah, so it's pretty good.
There's another what is it? It's like 97.1 or something like that. KTIZ, which was supposed to be 24-hour commercial-less Christmas music. So I tried that, but then found out quite quickly that all the songs were Jesus related.
Oh,
And
well,
so
you're
I was
listening
like,
to the Christian station. Yeah.
pretty much. And so I'm like, well, I don't mind Jesus Christmas songs and stuff. That has their place too. I'm like, but only no. I want
Yeah,
Santa
no.
Claus coming to town, baby. Like,
Yeah.
let's go here.
Yeah.
So
Baby, it's cold outside. I
Love-
gotta have that every once in a while.
love that song, especially now that I know the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious, and I relate to it far more because that's like me. I'm the guy trying just like
Trying to put the slick moves on.
You'll freeze out there. What?
Yeah.
Come on, no.
Yeah, come on back. I got some popcorn.
Yeah, and then but my favorite line of all of that is like, get over that hold out.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's so me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But love Baby It's Cold Outside. So I do want to thank Julie again for sending that in, because I know that couldn't have been easy.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you,
to
Julie.
do. So I really appreciate it. It gives me even greater joy that I can contact her and be like, you won, because you're the only one that bothered to do it.
Yeah.
But honestly though, I really appreciate it. So okay, let's get on to her good memory. So she sent this in like maybe an hour or so after her other one, and it's like, okay, my last memory that I submitted was not a happy one, so I thought that I would send one that was memorable and happy. I wanted a bike for Christmas so bad because I wanted to ride my bike to school with my brother. I knew that my parents didn't have a lot of money for Christmas that year, so I wasn't expecting one at all. When Christmas morning came around, we all went around the tree, and although I knew I wouldn't get a bike, I was still hoping for a Christmas miracle. Maybe Santa would bring me one. But there was no bike under the Christmas tree. I was okay with that. We opened up all of our presents, and I was so happy for everything I got. I noticed that my dad had left the room, but didn't think anything about it until he walked back in, rolling in on a new cream-colored bike for me. I was so excited because I didn't expect it, although I was hoping for one. I rode that bike all day on Christmas Day. A week later, when school started, I was able to ride my brand new bike with my brother to school, even though I'm sure he didn't want his little sister to tag along with him. So that is my very happy and memorable Christmas memory that I have. Even if my parents did not have much money some years, they always made our Christmas so special. Dave and Mike, have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year. And
Thanks
obviously,
very much. Yeah.
Same back to you. Like that goes right along with the whole Nintendo thing, where the parent leaves the room and they're just kind of slinking along, hoping they're not. I actually did that to Cameron when I had the team over about a year and a half ago for our Christmas. Would be Christmas 2023, 22 for 22, and I had it hidden in the room or whatever, and I was like, okay, it's your turn, and went and got it and rolled it out, and but I love doing shit like that.
Mhm.
And
Christmas surprises.
yes, exactly. So and I think one of the things that parents love to do is make, even if they're like, parents are fighting or it's like a World War III, in the house. Once comes Christmas, they always try to make it special,
Right.
especially for the kids.
Right.
And did you ever get to do anything like that for your daughters?
It was always so one of the things I always did is I never let them stop believing in Santa Claus. So that's my claim to fame, right? So I would always tell them, because we went to church and they believed in, we grew up, Christian, and I brought them up kind of Christian faith, and that there's something better than that, more powerful than them, that created everything around us. And what I used to do for them, for every year, we would leave out obviously cookies and milk and stuff. But I said, you can't forget about Santa's reindeer. And so I would go to the extreme of, we would leave out carrots and we would leave them by the kitchen table, right? And so where our fireplace was, I had a couple of deer hooves from deer hunting that I had used as coat. You could put your coat on like a coat hook. And so I would take the deer hooves and I would get them with a little bit of ash, and I would make footprints from the fireplace across the carpeting to the kitchen. And then I would get chocolate covered raisins and I'd put a little pile of chocolate covered raisins down, right? And then I would gnaw on the carrots and I would shred them and throw them all over the floor, right? And then eat the rest. So there'd be like scraps of carrots all over the place. So, and then obviously the cookies would be, partially eaten and stuff, and the milk partially drank. And then we made sure that we were never the first ones downstairs. So we would wait until we'd hear them up. And they grew up just like their dad, because I was up at about 5 a.m. Christmas morning. Every other day I got up at 9. On Christmas morning, I woke up at 5, and I could hear them run downstairs, all three of them, just then, oh, it pooped on it. And stuff like that. So, that's what I did for them. Other than that, like, we never rolled in like a gift. Anything that we got them was like there in the room. There was never like a ta-da moment, like where we rolled stuff out. But that was like, and then it was great to listen, because when they were little, they were totally like, oh my God, there's gonna kill them. Santa brought his deer with him down the chimney, and you could just hear him talking. It was just great.
Did you ever, just for effect, pick up like some of the chocolate covered raisins ever and pop them in your mouth?
Every year. Yep. I'd be like, oh, well, we can't have this. And then I'd kind of like feel it, and I'd be like, well, I don't. And they'd be like, oh, Dad, that's boo, boo. And I'd be like, really? Oh, it isn't that bad. It's from Santa's reindeer. It's magical.
It's high in fiber.
Yeah. They were like, can I have some? And I'm like, no, this is Dad's, and I would never let him have any, because I didn't want him to know that it was chocolate covered raisins. Right. So that would ruin the whole thing.
It would ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
Although you could say that, in the mythology of like dragons, cry diamonds.
Right.
Maybe Santa's reindeer poop raisins.
Maybe. Yeah. I didn't go that way, but yeah, I could have. If I got busted, I would have probably gone that way. But it worked for many, many years.
I'm surprised that after a few years or whatever of seeing you do it and them getting down there before you, that they just didn't do it before you even got down there.
They were freaked out by it.
Oh, was it?
For a long time. Yeah. No, they were like, for years, they're like, it's just, they would tell everybody in the neighborhood that my dad eats reindeer poop. And it took, then I'd have to wait until the kids were gone to explain to the neighbors what was happening. And like, that's just classic. But I'm like, yeah.
But for the meantime, you were the neighbor that ate poop.
In the meantime, in the short term, I was the neighbor that ate reindeer poop. I was totally okay with it because it was delicious because I love chocolate covered raisins.
I would have gone chocolate covered peanuts, but that's just me. They're a little bigger.
Yeah, chocolate covered peanuts are good,
but not as good as raisins.
Not as good as raisins.
Wow.
No.
Agree to disagree.
Chocolate covered strawberries have been better, but that's kind of deceptive to leave chocolate covered strawberries and claim it to be poop. That would have been a tough sell,
especially when you bit into it.
I mean, yeah, right. And I'm like, oh man, these are juicy.
You'd either have to eat them whole, which is hard to do.
Which would be hard to do. Yeah. As I'm laying on the ground choking to death on a strawberry stuck in my throat on Christmas morning. Yeah, that would have been bad.
But memorable.
Yeah, they would have been able to write in. Here's my Christmas memory. My dad choked to death on a strawberry.
Why do they sound so happy about that?
I don't know.
Get this. We laugh about it now.
Yeah. He would have wanted us to think it was funny.
Well, I mean, that's probably pretty accurate, though.
That's probably pretty accurate. Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna, because we're on a high note. So, here's a question I don't think I've ever asked you, or and if I'm wrong, correct me, because I don't want to go over it again. We talk about like our favorite Christmas memory, which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But what about favorite gift ever gotten, ever received? We talked about that before.
I don't know that we have or haven't, but honestly, I couldn't say that I've ever gotten a favorite gift.
Really?
I mean, I appreciate anything that I get, that if somebody took the time to shop for me. I don't, like one doesn't stand out more than the other. Like, let's say I got a bottle of, Obsession for Men, which I really like that fragrance. And then I got like a Ralph Lauren sweater that year. I mean, I like that just as much. I can't determine whether I like the cologne better or the sweater better, or, So I don't know. I don't know that I could pick like a favorite. I mean, there's memorable ones like, when I was little and I got the Atari 2600 and, nobody else like anywhere around my house had one. And so my bedroom was just packed with my buddies, on my little 13-inch black and white TV, playing Atari 2600. The year kind of like Julie's, I mean, I've shared this before. When I was 12, I asked for a 10-speed. When I was 13, I asked for a 10-speed, and I didn't get it. And then I thought, well, I'm never going to get one. And in the same situation, I grew up in a poor area, and parents didn't have a lot of money. And that year, we got done opening presents, and my mom left the room, and I wasn't paying attention. And she walked back in the front door, rolling in my brand new Schwinn Continental. And I was, like jumping for joy. I was out riding it in like 2 feet of snow and slush up and down the street. I didn't care. I'm like, no, I'm riding it. I mean, we had tons of snow when I was growing up, right off Chicago, right on the lake effect Chicago snow. But yeah, I mean, that was a great memory. The Atari was a great memory too, I guess.
Nothing recent, huh?
No, I don't have, I get a few gifts every year for Christmas, and, I appreciate them. I bought myself a Christmas gift this year. I do every year anyway, but I bought myself usually it's just something small.
It's not another ring, is it?
No, I bought myself a nice Christmas gift this year that I wanted for a while. So I got I bought a 65-inch mini LED, the new 4K mini LEDs that have like 12 billion colors, something like that. Yeah. So I've been watching the price and finally I jumped on it. So it's going to look like a drive-in movie theater in my bedroom.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
Can't wait to game on it. It's got that special 144 gaming mode. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, and it's got a 480K refresh rate. Instead of a 60, 120, 240, it's a 480K refresh rate. And this is the one you can like, it's got like 1,000 or 10,000, I forget, I think it's 10,000 like famous paintings and pieces of art and stuff.
Oh,
And if
yeah,
you're not
telling me about that.
TV, yeah, you can just click that button and it just scrolls through. And then it's an intelligent TV, so you don't have to have anything. You don't have to talk into your remote. It just hears you, and so it's like, Alexa, tell me more about this painting, and it'll tell you all about the painting. It pairs Bluetooth headphones, and I mean, it does everything. It's a beautiful TV.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, happy Merry Christmas to you.
Well, thank you very much.
I bought my team what is turning out to be a very, 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 very expensive gift for this year.
Yeah,
as soon as it's done, which it isn't.
I was going to say, and it probably is. If I'm thinking what it is, it isn't done yet.
No, it's not done yet.
Yeah.
But when it is done, I'm going to not only unveil it to my team, who doesn't know that this thing is coming.
It's my Christmas gem.
Yeah, I've noticed that. But I'm also going to be doing like a live on my team page to reveal that, since it is paranormally based. And I thought, since it is going to be so amazing and it is paranormally based, that during the first episode of the new year, that I would then show the video here on the show.
Sure,
but
absolutely.
We can depends on how long it is.
Right. Yeah. Well, you'll just have to dial it down or something.
Yeah, I can redo it. Once, because it's going to be a live as opposed to just a recorded video. But yeah, think you guys will really enjoy having to see it. But yeah, otherwise, I guess. I mean, I guess you could say the Lego set that I bought is probably a gift for me.
Yeah.
The Eiffel Tower, which stands 6 feet tall and 10,001 pieces. I'm so looking forward to putting that together. It's just been sitting like the door to my Lego room, and that's what I call it because it's just a spare bedroom. It's been open and it's just been sitting on the table, like teasing me. Yeah, taunting me as I walk past it. So
oui, monsieur.
This is Heil Magnifique.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that, but
absolutely.
But yeah. So why don't we, unless we have something else that we want to?
Well, I found some like kind of interesting, obscure Christmas facts. So I thought before we get into traveling around the world, I'd throw these out as like a primer. How about that?
Absolutely.
All right. So the very first Christmas tree, the first Christmas tree ever, was made of dyed goose feathers and came from Germany. So nobody thought to go chop down an evergreen tree. They killed a bunch of geese, plucked them, and made a tree out of it.
I'm sure then they ate the goose
and
or
they
whatever.
ate the goose. I'm sure they did too.
For Christmas dinner. Yeah.
The first decorated Christmas tree, the very first decorated Christmas tree in history, was in Riga, Latvia in 1510.
It's a long time for Christmas.
That is a long time ago. Yeah. This is interesting too. The very first use of lights on a Christmas tree. Edward H. Johnson, a close friend of Thomas Edison, was the very first person to put lights on a Christmas tree in 1882. Again, I would have never guessed that. I would have been somewhere in the 20s, 10s, like 1910. The tradition of putting tangerines in stockings came from 12th century French nuns. You know why they put oranges and tangerines in stockings?
I didn't know they ever did that.
Oh God, yeah. Every year we'd have oranges in our stockings. We did that for my kids all growing up too. It's a tradition. It's so back when Saint Nick, like back in the history of Saint Nick, like back in the 11th, 12th, 13th century, he would open up his stocking as he was walking by, and he would give gold balls to the poor girls for their dowry. And so they would have something so they could get married. So they'd have a dowry chest. And so for the nuns, since they didn't have gold balls, they would put oranges in there instead to represent that. And I don't know how that ended up in my family as a tradition. Interesting. But we did. Eggnog was originally a pirate's drink because it was only for the upper class, and the only way the pirates got it was to steal it. They were the only ones who had access to milk, sherry, and eggs needed to make it, which I thought that was great. Jingle Bells was actually written for Thanksgiving. Jingle Bells, written by James Pierpoint in Massachusetts, was written for a Thanksgiving festival, not for Christmas. Well, way to ruin it for them. Spiders as Christmas decorations, and this is interesting because this is part of my background too. In Ukraine and Poland, families decorate their Christmas trees with spiders, and we always had a spider. We always had a big gold spider and a silver spider on our tree every year. Part of my Ukrainian background. And then where do we want to leave it? Oh, I'm not even going to go there with that one because the historians are just absolutely wrong on that. So we'll leave it with the spiders.
That was actually the spider one. I did come across in my tradition.
Yeah, I did too.
Tradition is searched, and
and I kind of laughed because I was like, well, my whole life growing up, we had this big gold spider and this silver spider, and these weren't like just like some $2 spider. Like this spider had like jointed legs that you could move, and it was metal. I mean, it had to have been expensive. I don't know if it was a hand-me-down. I don't know, but I had it for a long time too, and now I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, let me see if I can find, because they had the background story as to why. Here we go. So the tradition has its origin in an old tale of a poor woman who couldn't afford to decorate her tree and woke up on Christmas morning to discover a spider had covered it in its glorious sparkling web.
Yeah.
And it goes, it's for good luck. It's not about poor housekeeping.
Right. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, no, it was for good luck because my grandma had hers on her tree too. She had her spider on her tree.
So on Christmas,
we never did the pickle thing. The pickle thing got big here some years back. Like, I hadn't even heard of it. When I was a kid, I'd never heard of it. And
I still have never heard of it.
You never heard of the Christmas pickle? Well, it's big in Germany.
To me, that means something completely different.
Totally different. Yeah. So keeping in the spirit of Christmas and Jesus, the Christmas pickle actually was a tradition from Germany. So if it was a glass Christmas pickle ornament, and if the Christmas pickle was the last ornament to be put on the tree, the first child who found it got an extra present, and that extra present was like something really special. Which that never made it into my house. We had too many other traditions going on. I can't take on everybody's traditions. So,
well, if there's anything America is known for, it's taking other people's traditions and making.
Well, absolutely, we've stolen everything. Yeah, we've stolen everything that we own for the most part. But borrowed. We've borrowed.
There we go.
Everybody, a lot of people. But yeah, I've never done that tradition, but I always thought that was interesting too. So. But we got to get into our sleigh here and start traveling around the country because some of these I'm just chomping at the bit to get to them.
I know, me too.
I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to do the number one first? Probably the most popular one that you saw right away and I saw right away.
Uh, I wasn't going to start there. I thought about it, but that's too good. So I was actually going to start in Sweden.
Okay.
So in Sweden, they have the unusual tradition of creating what they call a Yule goat out of like straw and hay, and then they decorate it with like big ass red ribbons and stuff like that, and they put lights on it and stuff, and they call it the Yule goat. And it stands at least 40 feet tall, so it's not like it's
No, it's big.
man sized. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's 4 stories.
yeah. It um I'll get to that here in a minute. So there's more. I actually had two. There we go. 42 feet high, 23 feet wide, and it weighs 3.6 tons.
That's a lot of hay.
That's a lot of hay. So they construct it in the same spot every year. And that now it has gotten so like popular, and technology has gotten to what it is, that now they live stream. Like you can click in a link, or you can watch it being built. You can watch it just sitting there doing nothing.
Sweet. Yeah, that's what I'm going to watch that one.
Well, it's no different than the Yule log.
Well, at least the Yule log, the guy throws a piece of wood in there every once in a while. I don't want to stand and watch a 40-foot goat made out of straw just standing there.
So here's what I would expect. I would expect this from the people of America to do this.
Oh,
not the Yule goat itself.
No, I know where you're going.
But sadly, 36 times since 1966, it's been turned into a bonfire.
Yeah,
but by people. So people go and they look at it and like, okay, and then they throw a match on it and it goes up in flames. So maybe that should be like their new part of their new tradition, the annual like burning down of the Yule goat. But I will say this, like the pictures they have of it, they do an extremely good job.
Oh yeah. No, I saw it too.
Well, I just want to say for the people out there who want to go and look up maybe what it's seen, they do a really good job of it.
Well, no, it looks, yeah. And I thought it was interesting that that they said that the whole reason that started was because of the story of the goat man that would walk around with Saint Nick. And that was in kind of honor to that, or reference to that. So obviously, to me, the goat man would be Krampus. Type of thing. That's where I thought anyway.
Krampus is in these traditions a lot.
Yeah. He's in the movie Big Red One too.
Yes, he is,
and he plays a great role. I know you love. Krampus.
You love Krampus. I know.
I do like Krampus. I sent you that thing, Krampus march going through Austria.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool looking. And then if you were just to happen to be traveling through, you probably would have stopped in your tracks and turned and went the other way. Because those guys looked like they were real. Those things looked real. I don't know. I was pretty impressed.
That was a lot of money. They spent on those.
They did, because those dudes looked like they looked like what I would imagine like a Krampus would look like. So, okay. So I am stealing Catalonia, Spain. I know.
That was going to be my next one.
I let you start. So the locals in Catalonia create, so it's called the pooping tradition. So the locals in Catalonia create a character out of a log, draw a face on it, and give it a hat. Then they spend the fortnight feeding it nuts, fruits, sweets, and berries. On Christmas Eve, the entire family beats the log with sticks and sings a traditional song that translates to, "If you don't crap well, I'll beat you with a stick," until the log excretes all of its treats. It's hard to comprehend why this tradition hasn't caught on elsewhere. They also decorate their nativity scenes with small pooping ceramic figurines, usually well-known characters, often drawn from that year's news. The figurines always have their pants around their ankles. So I'm going to add to this. So give me a second. I got to flip to this one. So, okay. So I found this one with this guy. They actually have, I'm going to clip this and send this to you later. So they actually have Gandhi, Mandela, Picasso, Dali, Napoleon, and I'm not reading them all here, Gollum, Mario Brothers, a couple of famous soccer players, Darth Vader, Dracula, Groucho Marx, Humphrey Bogart, and Batman, all with their pants down, bent over, crapping, and you can. The whole shelf is loaded with these things, and that's what they do is they buy these crapping figurines and they put them out with their Christmas display. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. So I don't know where where that came from, and I don't know about the whole pooping song, but it's funny. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
The description had me a defecating log.
Yeah. 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 I just laughed. I'm just like, okay, that is a tradition that needs to catch on elsewhere. Standing around as a family, beating a log with sticks, singing, if you don't defecate, if you don't poop well, you're going to have a bad year. Oh my God.
So, since you stole that one from me, I'm going to make sure I get this. I'm going to make sure I get this next one in.
Okay.
So you can't steal it from me. We're moving to Japan.
I knew you were going there.
Moving to Japan. So, because only like an estimated 1% of the Japanese people are Christian, they obviously really don't celebrate Christmas. And so what they do now is that they don't go for the turkey dinner. They go for Kentucky Fried Chicken. And in 1974, KFC did a big old marketing campaign in Japan. I'm not even going to try to do the Japanese words. It's like,
no, don't.
It translates to Kentucky for Christmas. And ever since then, that's what the Japanese people do on Christmas Day is they all go for KFC. So it says it's maintained its Yuletide popularity, causing some people to order their boxes months in advance or stand in 2-hour-long lines to get their finger-licking good food.
Yep.
So if you ever want to know how KFC is still around.
Oh, it isn't from the United States.
It's
the international market.
It is Christmas in Japan at the KFC.
I loved KFC. I loved when KFC had their buffet, and you could just go munch down some chicken for like $6.95 and get some of their coleslaw is phenomenal. Their biscuits are phenomenal.
Well, they still have some. No, they have some. They're It depends on whether they want to or if they want to participate in that.
Yeah.
But there are still some that have it.
I wonder if the one down by Rosedale Mall still has it, because that's the one I used to go to a lot.
Actually,
I know like the other ones that I know, like KFC's closed all over the place.
They sold a bunch of them to Popeyes. But from what I understand, that one does have it, because I drive by there like every day now to go to the Burlington Northern, and I had a supervisor with me, and he was talking about how he hadn't had it in like 20 years or something like that. But he said something about them having the buffet. And I'm like, I wish you would have said something. I'm like, because I was thinking if they had the buffet, then we would stop and have lunch there.
Yeah.
I have not gone in yet. I probably will try and do so eventually, just to see
Well,
if that's
if they
true.
haven't changed it, it's probably the best KFC you've ever walked into because it's like a 50s retro diner and they got like 50s tunes playing and it's decorated inside and then it's KFC buffet. So it's pretty cool if they haven't changed that. Now it's been about a decade since I've been there to that one anyway.
Oh, I don't know.
But
They probably modernized it eventually.
I'm sure. Hopefully not. Leave some traditions alone. Okay, so we are jumping in a plane or jumping in the sleigh, and we are going from Japan to Iceland. Icelandic kids don't just get one Santa Claus, they get 13 mischievous trolls roaming the country the night before Christmas. Like Snow White's 7 dwarves, each of these 13 Yule lads has his own personality, including such popular names as the Doorway Sniffer, the Spoon Licker, Sausage Swiper, Candle Stealer, Curd Gobbler, and the ominously named Window Peeper. Each lad takes turns visiting children who leave their shoes in their bedroom window at night, and the Yule lads drop off either candies for the good kids or rotting potatoes for the bad ones. I love the names of the kids of the Yule lads in Iceland. Doorway Sniffer, Spoon Licker, Sausage Swiper, Candle Stealer, Curd Gobbler, and Window Peeper.
Window Peeper.
Yeah, those are just classic names. That should be a tradition elsewhere too.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no on that one. All right. So you might find this hard to believe, but apparently even the Vatican has and Italy has its own interesting tradition. And it's Santa's little helper is an old witch. So here's what it says. Unable to conclusively prove the existence of Santa, but apparently the ability to
Conclusively prove the
existence of God.
of a witch.
Well, there's that too. I was just saying God, but the Vatican decided to throw its weight behind something they'd had countless dealings with, an old witch called La Befana, who delivers presents to kids in Italy. And this is what I absolutely love about this. The story goes that the 3 wise men invited the witch to accompany them to see the baby Jesus. She said she was too busy, and the legend was born.
I saw that too. Hey, the new savior was born. I got stuff to do.
I'm washing my hair.
I'm running low on eye of newt. I've got to go out and get a couple newts.
Seriously, like, we're gonna go see the new savior of man. I wish you would have told me sooner. I got plans.
Yeah. Oh, my sister said she's coming over later. It's just not going to work. She's not a traveler. She's got the bad hip, lumbago. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I can just see that.
She's too busy.
She's too busy to go see the baby Jesus. Well, why would 3 wise men invite a witch to go see the baby Jesus anyway?
Well, I mean, if she was a white witch, maybe it was for like a blessing, something like that. But I mean, it just says an old witch. Obviously, they have a lady, like, they have a picture of this lady who's like suspended from a rope or whatever, and she's waving to the crowd, and she's got a broom between her legs
and a carrot nose or rutabaga or something, parsnip,
whatever. But yeah, I mean, she's wearing all black. But I mean, obviously, I think the connotation is the witches, like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, right. Otherwise, she wouldn't be bringing kids presents, right?
Well, there's that too. Yeah. So yeah, I love the fact that was the story that they came up with, and for some reason, because she was too busy to go see Jesus, is this a curse? Like now she's
Forever destined
forever
to be delivering presents to kids.
the kids. Yeah. I mean,
You
what?
didn't want to go see the baby Jesus? Guess what you get to do for the eternity?
See, that's just it. Like it doesn't.
You get
The
to show up on
story
Christmas
doesn't
and-
match the legend.
No,
Is what I'm saying.
there's some sort of generational gap going on there
There's just a
between
little-
between the wise men inviting the witch to go see baby Jesus and now you're destined to hand out candy for eternity. Yeah, there's something lost in there. Yeah, I agree with you. I saw that one too.
Right.
All right, so sleigh ride from Italy to Greenland. In Greenland, the Christmas delicacies that are reserved for Christmas are matak and kivak. Matak is whale skin with some of the blubber left attached that is supposed to be chewed, but is often just swallowed as it can be a little tough. Apparently, it tastes like coconuts. Kivak is made from the raw flesh of ox, a small Arctic bird. The ox are buried in sheepskin a long time before Christmas and then dug up to eat when they have reached an advanced stage of decomposition. Not grabbing your appetite? Don't worry. There's usually barbecued caribou on the menu too.
Oh, well, I guess that makes it okay then.
Oh, I'm not going to Greenland for the holidays, people. I can tell you that.
Well, I mean, I guess it's no different than having haggis in Scotland.
I've had haggis. I would eat haggis before I would eat whale blubber and rotten bird.
What's good, rotten
I'm
bird?
sorry. Yeah, I'm not eating rotten bird and whale blubber. It's like in Greenland also is the place where they get I forget what breed of shark it is. If it's green sharks, maybe. Anyway, so they get these sharks and then they're really acidic or not acidic. Oh, they've got urine. Like maybe that is acidic, right? Your urine's acidic. So anyway, so they take this meat and they bury it and then they dig it up, and it's Greenland again that does this. And then they bury it and then they dig it up and then they eat it. And I've seen it on a couple of, like, the food shows that I like to watch, and people that go there and do the traveling food shows, and like they can't even get it near their nose because of the smell. They're just like, this is not going to happen. And then Andrew Zimmern, who's one of the guys here, he's from Minnesota, that did Bizarre Foods. He was there and he actually plugged his nose and got a piece in his mouth. And I've never, ever in my life seen something projectile out of his mouth until I saw the shark projectile out of his mouth. And he's like, I'm sorry, I tried. I got it in my mouth. I just can't do it. And the guy was standing there slicing it off, just eating it like it was hard salami. I'm just like, so,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
Wow.
going to Greenland. Be interesting to go. I've heard the women are beautiful. And the northern, well, they are. And the northern lights are like constantly showing, which would be great. Like every night you could just go out and watch northern lights. But yeah, I don't know about eating that. I would do barbecued caribou. I would, because it's just deer. So it'd be like barbecued deer. I'd be good with that. I'm not eating no rotten bird though.
No rotten bird for Dave.
No. You can give my helping to somebody else who really likes it.
All right. Well, we're gonna go, like, I don't know, 1,500 miles southwest
Okay.
from Greenland to Caracas, Venezuela. Caracas. So in a week leading up to Christmas, Venezuelans attend a daily church service called the Misa de Aguinaldo, which basically just means early morning mass.
Mhm.
So Caracas, which is the capital of Venezuela, it is customary to travel to the church service on roller skates. So it says, indeed, so widespread is the practice. Many roads in the capital are closed until 8 a.m. to provide Christmas worshipers a safe passage. Roller
That's
skates,
a healthy population, rollerblade in the church.
I suppose. That would just what if you don't know how to roller skate? Like, I don't know how to roller skate. Does that mean I can't go to mass?
I
probably
wouldn't
wouldn't.
even try to put on a pair of roller skates right now.
Yeah.
Because I'd just be back in traction in the hospital again. So
do roller skates come in size 13s wide?
yeah, they do. Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
I need
you can
maybe
get
I-
those, but
maybe I need 5 rollerblades instead of the traditional
Yeah.
4
exactly. Yeah.
for extra stability.
Yeah. Can I get the ones that have like the training wheels on them? Will those work?
I would need I would need
Oh, I
that.
would too. Yeah, I would too.
I can't even ice skate unless I have the chair. And even then it's like,
Hit or miss as to whether
it's
you're
a
going
hit or
down.
miss whether I'm gonna be able to go anywhere.
Oh my God. That's
So
funny.
yeah. So roller skates in Venezuela. So they are in shape and have very good balance that I do not.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Keeps them healthy, keeps them flexible, lets them celebrate mass. It's a good thing. And you got the streets closed so you don't get hit by a crazy driver first thing in the morning. All right, so we're staying in South America. We're going to Guatemala. Guatemala. In Guatemala, it's important for your house to be clean. Cleanliness really is next to godliness there. Locals believe that the devil and other evil spirits live in the dark, dirty corners of your home. And they do. And we talk about this on every show. It's always in the corner.
It's always in the corner.
It's always in the corner. Guatemala's on it. Therefore, they spend the week before Christmas sweeping up, collecting rubbish, and then piling everything in a huge heap outside. Finally, an effigy of the devil is placed on top, and the whole thing is set on fire. It's a tradition called burning of the devil. The idea is that the Guatemalans burn all of the bad energy from the previous year and start the new year out fresh. I like that. That should happen. That could happen here.
Yeah, but here's my issue with it. It made me chuckle when I originally read that one.
Yeah.
And that is devils and demons and stuff are typically from hell.
Yeah.
They're known for to be from hell, which is fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
So what would make you think that setting them on fire would do anything?
It's probably just a feel-good moment for the Guatemalans.
Well, it is, but I just it's the mindset behind it. Like, oh, these are born of fire and brimstone. But you know what? Let's just set them on fire and see what happens.
So what they should do is like trap them in a magic snow globe, and then just be able to shake it whenever they want to. Send them bouncing around, bing, 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 all over the place.
Yeah,
I do like this tradition. I think this is a good tradition because you're trying to take the darkness out of your house, and you're trying to get it so that more light and that more like God and the light and love can come in, because it's now clean and all of the crap that's been hiding in the corners, including the devil and demons, evil spirits, are out. They're out for the year. And then the goal is not to bring them back, I would imagine. Right? You're out for a year. You're on the bench. You're on the bench, rookie. So, yeah, I don't know. I like that. I think that's a good tradition.
Well, the intent behind it, I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, the intent's wonderful. Absolutely.
It's the execution that I have somewhat of an issue with. But yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, if you live in Norway, make sure during Christmas Eve you hide your broom. Now, I know that might not sound like it makes much sense, but hear me out. So Norwegians believe that Christmas Eve coincides with the arrival of evil spirits and witches. It is only logical then that Norwegian householders hide all their brooms before they go to sleep. After all, nothing spoils Christmas quicker than finding your broom in broken pieces at the foot of a tree, trashed by some joyriding witch.
I hate when I wake up and I find my broom at the tree all splintered up like that.
Yeah. I mean, you prefer chocolate covered raisins and gnawed off carrots all over the place.
Exactly.
And ashed hooves.
Yeah, and exactly. And hooves. Yeah.
I don't even know. Like, I get it and I don't. Like, do they really think that evil spirits and witches, like, the only reason that they're going to come into your house is to steal your broom and then go, like, crash it into a tree and then just leave it at your tree?
I don't know.
I would.
It's got me scratching my head as I'm still I can't wrap my head around the three wise men inviting the witch having to wash her hair so she can't make it that day, so now she has to hand out candy for the rest of eternity. So I'm still trying to get that one to sink in too.
I wonder. I mean, I know that these are like the obscured traditions.
Yeah, but that's what the show is, right? Obscure Christmas.
Well, that's what I mean. But I would love to see if anybody actually still does either of these or either of those. Like,
I don't know.
hey, the La Benta or whatever, the Italy witch. I wonder if they get like this tag that says, to Johnny from La Benta or whatever underneath the tree. And then
I don't know.
Underneath that it says, help me.
If you get an invitation to go see the baby Jesus, make sure you go. Otherwise, you'll spend the rest of eternity handing out presents to kids in some other country.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to Slovakia. I like this one. In Slovakia, there is the extremely odd Christmas tradition of throwing pudding on the ceiling. As a way of finding out how much luck a family will have in the coming year, the most senior member of the house has to throw laksa pudding at the ceiling. The more it sticks, or the more of it that sticks, the more luck your family will have in the coming year. The traditional recipe for this pudding includes milk, bread, poppy seeds, something to make it a little sweet, and something to make it sticky. I like that. I just don't know, like dad standing up with a platter of pudding, slamming it up into the ceiling. It'd be funny, I mean, I'd be laughing even to today. Like, but the kid would come out of me, and I would think that would be hilarious. But I don't know who's climbing up to the ceiling, cleaning that stuff up. Poor mom probably getting stuck with it.
Do you just wait until it falls off by itself?
I mean, what if you make it really good and you get enough stickiness and they're just perfect amount of stickiness and it never falls?
Well, then I guess you have good luck all year round.
Well, then I guess you're going to be like, yeah, right, exactly. You'd be like a millionaire. And then you could move and buy a new house and have a clean ceiling to throw the next year's up on.
Yeah. So I don't know where this is. I'm assuming it's over by Czechoslovakia. It's Czechia. Is that how it's pronounced?
Chechnya?
There's no N.
Oh.
See, I thought it was Chechnya, but there's no N.
Okay.
There's no N.
Okay. Well, then I don't know.
And I have no idea how. This is another one of those where I have no idea how one side of this matches the other. Beyond, like, this is the diehard of like Christmas traditions. So it's called the Pair of Matchmakers. So on Christmas Eve, this is for all you single ladies out there. On Christmas Eve, unmarried Czech women stand with their back to the door and toss one of their shoes over their shoulder. If it lands with the toe facing the door, it means that they'll be married within the year. If it lands with the heel, hold on.
The point of the shoe facing the door.
Oh, okay. Never mind. If it lands with the toe facing the door, it means you'll be married.
Yep.
If it lands with the heel facing the door, then you're in for another year of being single.
Yeah.
So here's my question: what if it lands sideways?
You have to hand out candy in some foreign country.
I don't know. You have to get a broom and start handing out presents.
Exactly. You got to put a parsnip on your nose, and then you got to get a broom, and you got to start handing out candy somewhere.
So that
is weird, man.
Which one?
Funny.
The Italy one?
Not
Or the
all of
matchmaking?
these. A lot of
Yeah,
these are weird, and I've
yeah.
got some more weird ones coming
I
that are
know, so
just
do
going to
I.
blow you away. So
But so there you go, ladies. If you're worried about whether you're going to be
maybe
married
you
in the
just keep
next
throwing
year,
it. You just keep throwing it. Probably. You know what I mean?
do over.
Like, if you don't, if it lands sideways, like you said, then like perfectly sideways, then you probably just have to do it over. If it lands, kind of like with the heel, kind of facing it, then as you approach it, obviously you nudge it with your foot before you pick it up, so the toe is
Oh,
facing it.
I tripped.
Yep, mulligan.
My-
Yeah, you didn't. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that.
I wonder if that's part
Yeah,
of the tradition. Do you, if nobody's around to watch you do it, do you can you go and pick it up and toss it over again?
yeah, exactly.
Like that. That's something that I would practice like all year round. Like I would get the flip of the wrist. Like
Oh yeah.
I would make sure that when Christmas Eve came, that I was all prepared
It's like the water
for.
bottle thing that was so popular years
Oh,
ago
where you
and
flip it up
on
and then you have
YouTube where you
to.
flip the water bottle and it has to land perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to another one of my homeland countries, and I like this one. So Finland's candlelit graveyards. At first glance, this might feel a little morbid, but in fact, it's surprisingly uplifting and beautiful too. On Christmas Eve, families in Finland visit the resting places of their lost loved ones and light a candle to place on the grave. Not only does this tradition help people to remember those they have lost, it turns cemeteries into tranquil, glittering havens of light that most Finlanders choose to walk in just to appreciate the beauty. The Finnish take this tradition seriously too. As many as 75% of Finnish families take part in this yearly. I think that's great.
I could see that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I would be the guy helping light some candles. Maybe I know I've got some relatives there somewhere. But I would be the guy just walking through the cemetery, just enjoying the stillness and like the flickering lights and stuff. It'd be cool.
Yeah. But
And I think that paying respect to your lost ones, I think that's an important thing to do at the holidays for the ones that aren't with us anymore. That you can sit back and share a memory with them or a memory about them or whatever the case might be.
yeah. And that's a perfect segue to our trip to Portugal.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they call this dining with the deceased relatives. So during Consoda, which I'm assuming is the traditional Christmas feast in Portugal, families sometimes set extra places at the dining table for deceased relatives. It's thought that the practice will ensure good fortunes for the household. In some areas, crumbs are left on the hearth as well. Um, and it said you thought feeding all your living relatives was hard enough. But what I love about this is the photo that they used in this in this article or this page is of this big like Portugal type family. I'm sure you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I probably saw
There's
the same picture.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's probably like there's like a dozen people around the table. There's food. Everybody's laughing and talking. Yeah, look at this. There's one black guy. Everybody's white, and there's one black guy. What? Why? You could tell that was staged.
it's staged.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things that it's like, what in this picture doesn't belong?
I will say this: I have been invited to people's houses for like different holidays and different celebrations and stuff like that over the years. And I have seen on more than one occasion place settings left out for the dead.
Huh.
So I think it's a pretty cool tradition too. I think that the lighting of the candles thing in Finland, I think that's great. And I think, not just Portugal, because it wasn't, well, I'm just thinking, right? So the things that I'm thinking of reflecting back on, they weren't Portuguese. So but they would leave a place setting out if they had lost a loved one that year. So it was interesting.
And I completely support that.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't find anything wrong with that whatsoever. In fact, you know, I always thought that were the time ever to come where I would get married, I would leave a spot open for my mother, grandmother, and father.
Yeah.
Even though when to join us. So I mean, the
Right.
dinner is no, Christmas dinner is no different.
Right.
But I like the candle, the candle cemetery thing that you were just talking about. I mean, it's just another way to pay tribute to those, that we've lost.
Right. Same thing with Mexico and Day of the Dead. Right. It's not a Christmas tradition, but I mean, it's the same thing. They celebrate their loved ones that have passed and invite them to come back out and be with them for the day kind of thing and celebrate. All right. So this is just a beauty right here. We are going to Wales for what is called Mari Lide. So the Welsh culture is ancient and steeped in superstition. So it's not surprising that the residents of South Wales enjoy parading a dead horse skull around their villages to celebrate the happiest time of the year. In a wassailing display dating back to probably the Celtic times, the custom involves draping a white sheet over a pole with a horse skull attached and knocking on townsfolk's doors, no doubt giving them the fright of their lives. The party carrying the morbid effigy then sings to the residents, who are supposed to sing back before relinquishing food and drink. There is some debate over whether Mari Lide translates as Holy Mary or Grey Mare, but either way you look at it, it's creepy as hell. And the picture I'm looking at is a horse skull, and they put green glass Christmas balls in the eye sockets and then tied hair as ribbons with bells on it. It's a beauty. Can you imagine? You imagine like you're sitting at home and somebody knocks on, Merry Christmas. And you go to the door and there's a horse skull with green glass ball eye sockets. And they start singing to you, and then you're supposed to sing in return and then give them food and drink.
Wait a minute. So if I dressed up this horse skull,
yeah,
and knocked on somebody's door,
and you start singing to them,
and I started singing to them, they are then obligated not only to sing back to me, but then give me drink and food.
Yes,
I like that.
I was going to say, are you seeing I can see the wheels are turning.
I mean, one, it's just another reason for me never to answer my door.
Right.
And two, it's like Christmas Halloween.
Right.
So
it's like a blend.
Yeah. It's like a Christmas trick or treat.
I got to send you this picture. Yeah.
You do, because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I got to send you this. You're going to love this picture.
But
oh my God,
I can't believe that it's like, oh, you guys are here. Oh, that was a beautiful song. Here's some wine. Here's some fruits.
Yeah, here's some. Yeah, right. Some holiday bread, some cookies.
I would go
to KFC.
Yeah, I would go over to Wayzata or Lake Minnetonka, and I would just start knocking on their doors.
You go hit like Deep Haven. A couple pockets in Stillwater.
That's right. Where all the $1 million mansions and stuff are.
And that's exactly.
Like, all right, here's an entire rotisserie chicken.
Oh, Christ's sake. You'd be arrested in 3 minutes.
I wouldn't even get to the front door.
The cops would show up. They'd be like, what are you doing? It's a tradition in my homeland.
I'd get to the gate. I'd buzz it. They'd be like, hello? And I'd be like, hey, it's the Christmas tradition. Like, let me in, and then I have to sing to you with my.
And then you have to provide me food and drink and sing me songs while I'm eating.
my horror horse head.
Exactly.
The horse head of horror. There we go.
Oh my God, it is a horse head of horror.
I just, that would not get very far here in the States.
No, No, that would not make it very far in the States. No.
So on Christmas Eve in Poland, many families share Oplatek. Did I say that right?
I don't know.
Oplatek. It's an unleavened religious wafer. So I'm assuming it's like the stuff for the body of Christ.
Oh, it could be.
And it says each person breaking off a piece as they wish each other Merry Christmas. Dinner may not begin until the first star appears in the night sky. And traditionally, an extra setting is left on the table for, should somebody show up uninvited. So again, I'm here to share your dinner.
Right.
Oh, well, we have a place for you. Look at that.
Yep.
So some of these traditions are very like you can just walk into people's homes and start taking, like you can take their brooms, apparently, if you're a witch.
Right.
And you can return them busted up if you want.
You can go party. You can go party with somebody's broom and then destroy it, and then just bring back the broken pieces
and put it by their tree.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay because it's the right time of year to do it.
And it's their fault because they didn't hide the broom from you.
Correct. And right. Exactly right.
So
it's not my fault I took it. It's your fault that you left it available for me to take.
Yes. And that it was so easy for me to get into your house.
It's
take
all
it from
perspective. It's all perspective.
Yeah. I didn't slap you. I gave your face a high five.
That's right. Oh my God.
And here, like, even if you're not in Poland, even if you're not invited, you can still go and eat dinner with some random people.
Oh, I bet the food's good too.
Maybe it is. All right, you're up, my friend.
I don't have any more.
None?
Nope. I've got Christmas. I got some like obscure Christmas facts. You want me to do some of those?
More? You already had some.
Yeah, I know. I got some more.
I'm really surprised you haven't done Austria.
Oh, for
Krampus?
Yeah, we've already talked about Krampus. That's why I left it off.
Gotcha. Yeah, the only thing that I have left now is really like food. It's like all food type stuff. I think we talked about this last year. No, not last year. Well, maybe because that was the Legend of Santa Claus. But the Netherlands has Sinterklaas. I think we talked about him one of these times, which is the Dutch name for Saint Nicholas.
Yep. Ooh, my spirit's moving around the room.
Nice. Kids put a shoe by the chimney or back door and wake up on Christmas morning to find treats like gingerbread men, marzipan, and chocolate letters inside. So here's my question. Are we talking about like, Dear Michael, you've been good this year. Here's a chocolate covered piece of paper letter? Or are we talking about like
you're probably talking about like chocolate letters, like a little piece of chocolate with an A on it or a D or whatever. Yeah.
They weren't very, very specific. So yeah. Otherwise, like almost everything else is all food related. Like what they have on their tables, and like New Zealand, because it's like their summer months, like all of their traditions like go around like a grill. You know, what do you grill on Christmas Day and stuff like that. So nothing too weird, except there's on Christmas morning in Finland, Finnish families traditionally eat a porridge made of rice and milk topped with cinnamon, milk, or butter. This is weird. Whoever finds the almond placed inside one of the puddings, quote unquote, wins. But some families cheat and hide a few almonds so the kids don't get upset. At the end of the day, it is customary to warm up in a sauna together.
Yeah, absolutely. Saunas are the best thing on the planet.
So here's my question, though. The person who finds the almond, do they win the almond?
Well, I don't know. It's a good question.
It
It's kind
doesn't
of like
say.
the king cake tradition for Mardi Gras, right? Where like you find the ring and the king cake type of thing, and then like you're the winner.
That's it. Like, hey, you found the almond, you're the winner, and then we go on with life.
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, you win something special. I mean, maybe you get to get in the sauna 10 minutes early. Then you get it to yourself, for the first 10 minutes or something.
Time for the family sauna.
Yeah. You can do the family sauna, but you, son, you found the almond, you get a 10-minute head start.
Yeah. And if you want to be done before grandpa gets in there,
Yeah.
Maybe
You're
that's it. Maybe you get to exit.
Yeah, right.
Sauna.
Maybe you get a 15-minute head start. So you get in there, get your sauna, get washed up, and then you're out of there before grandma and grandpa come in. That's what you get for the winning of the almond. Thank you very much. I'll just put my own almond in my bowl and slip it in there when nobody's looking. So I win every year.
If that's what I won, I would slam my face into the porridge and try to find that almond. Everybody's porridge.
Oh, all right. So I got a couple of quick fun facts I'm going to throw in here. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer got his start as an advertising gimmick for Montgomery wards in 1839. Very interesting. And I don't believe this at all, but 1 in 3 men wait until Christmas Eve to do their shopping.
Really? You don't believe that?
No, men are better than that. Paul McCartney earns $400,000 a year from his song Wonderful Christmas Time.
One of my favorites. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good song. Yeah. More than 400,000 illnesses are caused by bad Christmas leftovers. Americans purchase 1.6 billion Christmas cards a year. That's crazy. And this one I totally believe. Visa cards are swiped 6,000 times a minute during the Christmas season.
I believe that too.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that.
No, are they taken swiped as the same as used?
Yeah, that's what it says. They're used. I just use the word swiped.
Oh, because with people using Amazon now, they don't swipe the Visa; they just use the Visa.
Right. Yeah.
Well, then yes, I want to. If swiped, it also means they just use their Visa card.
Yeah, use your Visa card. Yeah.
Then I
now you can just tap.
Yeah. I think that might be even be low.
6,000 a minute. Maybe,
yeah, I think during my project that I think I used my Visa 6,000 times a minute. So
yeah,
I
would agree with that.
That I used it or. But yeah, I absolutely agree with that one.
The Rubik's Cube came out in 1980. It was $1.99.
It still is $1.99.
No, $10 now. Retails for $10.
Who the hell would buy a Rubik's Cube?
I'll tell you what, boy, they were popular as hell. They were popular as hell when I was growing up, like in high school, because that was my freshman year in high school. Everybody had a Rubik's Cube in high school.
Yeah, that was the year I was born.
Fart with it. Yeah. Well, it's
I actually saw a video 2 weeks ago, something like that. It was a guy who was going for the world record, and he was juggling 3 Rubik's Cubes while doing them.
He's just a show off. And
he did all 3 of them while juggling all 3 of them all at the same time. It was like 4.5 minutes, something like that. I was like, wow, like I can't even imagine how much focus that would take.
I've never gotten one done.
Well,
but I've never cheated. I've never cheated and like watched how to do it online. So, I mean, I have never on my own been able to do one.
I cheated by taking off the stickers and moving the stickers around. But
yeah, that is cheating. Yes. That is clearly against the rules of Rubik's Cube.
Is it? I haven't seen any rules of Rubik's Cube. So,
well, technically, you're probably right. But for a penance, 10 years of handing out candy in some foreign country, riding a broom. That's going to be that is going to carry on into 2025. Somewhere it's going to be interjected as we move forward.
Anybody that tells me they're too busy to do something, I'm like, well, have fun delivering presents.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because apparently that's the penance.
That is the penance
for being too busy. Wow. Well, we can end early. It's Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas. Got to go have a cup of eggnog.
I've never had. Yeah. I honestly have never had eggnog.
Oh my God! Wait a minute! I got a great ending for us.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. You've never had eggnog?
I've never had eggnog.
Oh, okay.
I don't drink alcohol, so there was just
no. It's not. There's no alcohol in eggnog. You add it yourself.
Oh,
so just eggnog itself, and you just sprinkle a little cinnamon or a little nutmeg on top. It is like a cold, extremely satisfying, like a good cup of hot cocoa would be. So hot cocoa is the hot counterpart of that. Eggnog is the cold counterpart of that. Like they're brother and sister in there. Eggnog is delicious. So you should try some this year if you haven't had any. Quick Trip actually sells a good brand, and I'm not promoting Quick Trip, but their brand it's delicious.
Huh. Well, okay. I might just stick to hot chocolate, but
well, yeah, you could stick to hot chocolate too, because hot chocolate's great this time of year. Sprinkle a little peppermint on top.
I bought a 40-ounce thermos that's supposed to like keep
stuff hot for like 2 days.
For 24 hours or whatever. So I've gotten it down to a science on how to make a full thing of hot chocolate. And so I take that to work on the hot days, or on the cold days, I should say.
On the hot days. Hot days. Those days when I'm sweating my off, and I grab
it's always nice
hot cocoa and bring her down. Okay, so I got a great story here that I want to share. So I was probably 12-ish or so at the time, and I would get up early on Christmas Day, probably around 2 a.m. I'd go downstairs to check on the loot that Santa left. I used my pocket knife to slit the tape on all my presents to see what they were, then retape the packages. While doing this, I came up with the idea to take a bunch of stuff from my room and wrap it up also and put it under the tree with my name on the label. In the morning, when everyone was up, the rest of the family discovered a huge pile for me and maybe half of that for my sister. My sister was pretty upset that I got so much more. Later on, my parents were equally but silently confused as to why there were clearly more presents from what they put out for me. It did become pretty obvious as I started opening presents that they were clearly my own stuff. As well, I started playing psychic and guessing exactly what was in each package. The whole family got a pretty good laugh about it. And to this day, 40 years later, my parents still talk about it every Christmas. I think that is hilarious.
That is
psychic.
That's so amazing.
It's a pair. I think it's a basketball. Let me see. Oh, it's a basketball. I think it's a pair of Red Sox. I'm feeling Red Sox. The Red Sox.
The fact that he would take the time, to wrap up his own stuff.
Yeah. That is absolutely classic. I love that.
I would get up at 2 a.m.
and go look at all my stuff, and then wrap my own presents from my room and bring it downstairs and play psychic.
Yep.
And then not the beauty part here too that is totally eluded it is pissing off your sister at Christmas by having twice as many presents as she has. Where she's like, I didn't get all the presents. You're right.
Well, you were naughty.
Bad. Yep. You're naughty. Yep. Krampus is coming to get you next year. Well, on that note, I say we say our goodbyes to 2024.
Yes, indeed. And
it's been a good year. Show-wise.
Show-wise
this year.
Yes, indeed. And just in general, I mean, everybody has their ups and downs throughout the year, throughout every year. everybody gives up right around January 15th
Yeah.
of having a good year, and they're waiting for 2026.
Yep.
But
Exactly. Yeah.
um, but for everybody out there, uh, one of the great things about the paranormal is that it's pretty much accepting of everybody, and you're never alone here in the paranormal world. And so for Christmas, be with your families, love your families, cherish the time that you have with them, your friends as well, especially the friends who have become your family.
Mhm.
If you're part of a paranormal team, like myself, uh, cherish the people that have been around for years. Um, and that have stuck around to do all of the menial and thankless work that
That
goes
happens
into
behind the scenes. Yeah.
that happens behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And if you can, not everybody has the ability, not everybody has the opportunity to do something nice for somebody else. But if you do it. Do something nice for somebody else. As good friend of the show, Dustin Perry would always say, it doesn't cost you anything to be kind.
Right.
And Christmas is a great place to, if you're just starting off, Christmas is a great way of kicking off the new year by changing what you want to change.
Right.
So hope everybody has a very safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Was that your stomach?
That was my stomach. It's like saying, "Come on, the show's over. Let's go get some French toast."
I was going to say that
Paranormal belly.
that was
Yeah.
paranormal belly to the max. Holy crap.
That was a loud grumble right there. Oh, French toast.
Let's go.
Let's
Shut
go.
up.
Football.
So anyway,
3 minutes.
Dave and I will see you in the new year.
Yes, we will.
So do you have anything you would like to?
No, I was just gonna say here, we had a lot of fun on today's show. So, and we talked about a lot of like really obscure things, but there's some cool things in there. So if one of them, if you're listening to this and kind of one of them caught your ear, maybe make it a new holiday tradition for your family. You don't have to be from Germany to have the pickle ornament thing, or from Finland to light a candle and pay respect to the dead, or to put a spider on your tree from the Ukraines. I mean, if you saw something here, me personally, if I'd have known this years ago, I would do the Catalonia poop log, just because I'm a child still at times, and I would get the biggest kick out of being with my family, grabbing sticks, beating the shit out of a log till it pooped out everything we packed in it while we're singing the good poop song. I just think that would be absolutely hilarious. So, but if you saw something seriously that caught your ear, maybe make it a tradition with your family, because traditions are what the holidays really are all about. That's what carries all the memories forward. So,
Yes, indeed. So yeah, I guess with that said, over the next couple weeks before we come back in the new year, obviously take a look at odysseyfilesradio.com. We're always looking for reviews, maybe if you want to, critiques, something you like,
reviews,
something
stories, ideas. If we haven't touched on something that you'd like us to talk about, submit it. I mean, there's so much in the paranormal that Mike and I, we spread our minds far and wide to come up with new ideas. But if there's something we haven't talked about, or maybe haven't talked about in a long time, and you'd like us to hit the subject, send it in. We'd be more than happy to.
Absolutely. And yeah, with that said, we'll see everybody in the new year. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you celebrate, I hope that it is a joyful and happy time for everybody, and that everyone has a very happy and safe new year.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you all in the new year. Everyone have a great day.